Hello students, in this video we are going to study the unit 3. Okay, so as I told in the WhatsApp group, the remaining CPU scheduling algorithms including the FCFS, I will explain those algorithms in the classrooms when the college will start or restart. So now in this process coordination, the first concept is IPC. Okay, so before explaining the IPC or before getting the term IPC, so we already know that in operating system the number of processes are executing concurrently. So it is concurrently, at the same time we are running the number of processes. Okay, so now these processes, these processes may be either independent or cooperating processes. So what I told, in operating system the number of processes are executing concurrently, or at the same time we are running the number of processes, you can say. So these processes are maybe, you can say, independent or cooperating process. Means what? In operating system we will get the two types of processes, that is independent process or cooperating process. So as I have written in this slide, there are two types of processes, independent processes and cooperating process. So now let's study what is independent processes. So now, as the name itself indicates here, the independent. So independent process means a process is independent if it cannot affect or affected by the other processes executing in the system. Means in a computer or in a system, if we are running the processes, if it is not affecting the other processes or it is not going to affect any processes, so that process is called as the independent processes. Okay, so independent process is what? A process is independent if it is not affect or affected by the, or it cannot affect, or these independent processes are also not affected by the other processes executing in the system. Okay, so this is the first feature of an independent process, you can say. And second feature is a process, I mean an independent process, it is not going to share the data, it is not going to share the data with any other processes, because it is an independent process. Clear? So here independent process means what? A process is independent if it cannot affect or affected by the other processes executing in the system, and the process which does not share the data with other processes is called as the independent processes. So the second type of a process is cooperating processes. So cooperating means what here? A process is cooperating if it is going to affect or the process is affected by the other processes executing in the system. So these processes are called as the cooperating. Getting? A process is cooperating if it can affect or these processes are affected by the other processes executing in the system. Or you can say any process, the process which shares the data with any other process is called as the cooperating. So in independent we are not sharing the data with the other processes, and here we are going to share the data with the other processes. So hence name here is cooperating processes. So now let's study. There are the number of several reasons why we need to allow the processes to cooperate with each other. So what is cooperating here? Cooperating is nothing but the communicating. Okay, so there are several reasons why we are going to allow the processes to communicate with each other. So there are 4 reasons: information sharing, computation speed up, and modularity, and the last one is the convenience. Okay, so why we are going to allow the processes to communicate with each other? Because the first reason is a information sharing. So what is information sharing here? So these all reasons are for the cooperating processes. Clear? So now information sharing is what? If the number of users or if the several users are interested in the same piece of information. So in such case, how the operating system is going to share the information to a number of processes. Okay, information sharing is nothing but if the several users are interested in the same piece of information. So in such case, how we are going to uh, share or how we are to distribute that information to the processes. So in such case, we have to provide and we have to provide an environment in which the information can be shared or can be not shared, can be accessed concurrently, clear, at a time. Clear? So if the several users are interested in the same piece of information, in such case OS or the operating system is going to provide an environment. So in that environment we can access our information concurrently. Clear? So the second reason is a computation speed up. So as you can see here, a computation speed up is nothing but we are going to run a means if we want to run a particular task faster, if we want to run a particular task faster, we have to break the task into a subtask. Clear? So if we want to increase the speed of our computation or a calculation, we have to we have to divide the task into a subtask, or we have to break the task into subtasks. So if you are going to then later the subtasks are executed in parallelly or concurrently. Clear? So these subtasks can execute in a parallel way or in a concurrent way. Clear? So now the third is the modularity. So what is modularity here? So modularity is nothing but we are going to design the system by dividing into a separate modules. Clear? So what is module here? Modularity is nothing but we want to design a system, or we are designing such a software where we are dividing the system into separate modules. So suppose you can take here an example. You can take here our Gmail is there. So in Gmail we are performing the number of tasks like compose is there, inbox is there, then sent mailbox mails are available. So in that we have divided the modules like compose, you can say, or for spam it is, or it may be for inbox, or it may be for draft even. Means what? Each module is going to perform a separate task, but we have combined together in a single system. Modularity means what? We want to design the system by dividing into separate modules. Clear? Or you can say if on a particular website some link is there, then if you click on that link it will go to the second page. So again in that, if there is any link, we are going to connect to some other web page. So that is nothing but the modules, you can say. So what is a convenience here? Fourth one is a convenience. So what is convenience here? So now the number of users may work on a many tasks at the same time. So as we know here, the user may work or may perform the multiple tasks at the same time. So for example, user may be listening to music, or he may typing a document, or even he may be printing a document at the same time. This is nothing but the convenience. Okay, how you can perform the task without any problem, that is nothing but the convenience here. So now what is the IPC now here, or how you can define the IPC? So IPC belongs to the cooperating processes. Remember this. So cooperating processes only requires this IPC. IPC stands for inter-process communication. Clear? So inter-process communication means what? It is a mechanism by which we are going to share the data and information. Definition of, or how we are going to define the IPC: cooperating processes require an IPC mechanism by which we can share the data and information. So now there are two models of IPC. One is shared memory and second is the message passing. Okay. So how we are going to define the IPC? I told these IPC or belongs to the cooperating processes, you can say, or cooperating process requires the IPC, that is inter-process communication. So by using this mechanism we can share the data and information, that's it. So there are two models of IPC, shared memory and message passing. So before this, just in a diagram I will explain what is the diagram here. It says here. So the first left one is a shared memory and the second one is the message passing. So as I told, there are two models of IPC, shared memory and message passing. So left one is a shared memory and right one is the message passing here. So as you can see here in the first diagram or in the left diagram, there is a partition between the process A and process B. So these both processes are sharing the memory. Certain part has been allocated for the processes. Clear? So in message passing there is no shared memory. Clear? So here MM means it is nothing but the message we are passing to the kernel, and again we are taking the message from the kernel to processes. Clear? And here in figure A, that is in shared memory, we are sharing the memory from process A to process B. Process B is sharing the memory, and similarly process A is sharing the memory. So now what is shared memory? Shared memory interprocess communication using the shared memory, it requires the communicating processes to establish a region of shared memory. So in IPC we are using the shared memory, right? So it requires the region. A region is nothing but a place to share the memory. Clear? So as you can see in a diagram, in IPC if you are using the shared memory model, it requires a region of a shared memory. So region is nothing but a location, you can say. So now that location or that particular region of memory is shared between the cooperating processes. A particular location or the region of memory is shared between the cooperating processes. So now these cooperating process can exchange the information. So how we are sharing the data and information, so that is the point here. So in cooperating process we can exchange the information by reading and writing the data to this shared region or shared memory location. Clear? We can read and write the data to this shared region. So by this way we can exchange the information. Clear? So now normally our operating system, what it does, normally the operating system try to check one process from accessing other processes. Okay, so what it checks, normally the operating system try to check one process from accessing to the other processes. So now the the data and location gets established by these processes and are not under the control of the operating system. So what it means here, the data and the memory locations are going to be established by the only processes. So here there is no role of or the OS is not going to control here the you can say the OS is not going to control or it is not going to establish the data and location. Okay, so now the processes are going to ensure that they are not writing to the same old location simultaneously. So this is a very important here. The processes ensure that they are not writing. The processes ensure that they are not writing to the same old location or same old region simultaneously or concurrently, you can say. Okay, so this is the shared memory, and we will see an example of shared memory in next video, and again in that only I will explain the second model, that is message passing. So that's it. Thank you.